Hello and welcome back to the Touchline Podcast. Today we're going to be doing our top 10 under-23 players in the Premier League. It's going to be like all round, so we're thinking potential, current, everything about the player. We're not focusing on one specific thing. And I think we'll just get right into it.
Wow, will we?
We got to do one thing first.
Because apparently over 55% of you guys that are watching are not subscribed. So just go down, subscribe and like the video while you're there. You know what to do.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell. Right.
Okay, let's get underway.
Also, if you're a first-time viewer, we've got Henry Murphy over here in the United top, Theo Wolff in the Arsenal top, Louis Gilliam also in the Arsenal top, and Big Willie Fraze in the Barcelona top.
So how this is going to work, we'll go from 10 to 8, then
10 to 7,
10
Henry.
to 7, 6 to 4, 3 to 1.
Okay.
Right, let's start with Geek. So who have you got at 10?
So I do my 10 to 7.
10 to 7, just.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Where will he have him?
At number 10, Ibire Eze.
Oh!
A bit low. A bit low.
No,
I
wait.
think-
Carry on.
Number 10, Ibire Eze. Number 9, Kulusevski. Number 8, Konate. And number 7 was very close to switching him to number 6. Is Martin Odergaard.
Oh, I'm so happy you didn't put Kaya Saka.
It was between Odergaard and Saka. He hasn't got him in, I can tell.
You forgot him. I didn't forget.
It was between Odegaard and
Also,
Saka.
did you forget Konate? Because you were talking about
Okay.
centre-backs.
Hey, you're next.
Anyway.
Do you want to go to me? Okay.
Yes.
You can't change it now.
I won't change it. I have
This is why we don't
also got a Barici.
Eberici, the man.
I've got Mark in ninth.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's
You've got
stinky.
Mark
Guehi.
Mate, I was joking.
God, there are some serious players you guys have
Stinky.
missed out.
Ibrahima.
At number 8.
And I've got Emil.
Neil Smith-Rowe.
Fair.
At number 7.
Louis? You guys must have missed a lot of players, because
Yeah.
I haven't got most of these players aren't in mine.
Well, who the fuck do you have?
You guys have missed a lot
Yeah,
of players.
right,
I'm not
Louis.
happy with these
Louis,
lists
you're
as we
next.
go. Okay, so I'll go for my list.
So Eze's taken.
That is not my...
How is that taking the
don't
We'll
know.
get on to it. Louis, why do you always have so many
How
Because-
was Conor Gallagher?
Because funny enough, my phone's over there.
Too?
Okay.
Okay.
At number 10, I have Jadon Sancho.
Oh, that's stinky.
No, I mean,
That is
it was
stinky.
I'd rather ever reach
At
him
number
every
9.
other week.
I've got Kulusevski.
That's fair enough. Kulusevski.
At number 8, I've got Konate.
Yeah. We've all got Konate at number 8.
And at number 7, I've got Rhys James.
Oh no!
Oh, here we go.
Oh
Rhys James at number 7.
Number
You know
7.
where he is for me?
Number
no!
7.
I'm
Do you
with
know where he is?
Don't want to hear that.
Don't
We'll move on to
just
Henry.
I've got Emil Smith-Rowe at number 10.
Stinky.
King Kai Havertz.
Oh
Number
no!
9.
Oh, he hasn't put him in there, has he?
Shh.
That is shocking from Henry. Ball knowledge. There.
Martin Odergaard.
Okay.
Don't know why I tried to do it in Norwegian. At number 8, and I've got Rhys James at
Oh.
number 7.
What's going on?
That's
No,
what
I
we
can't
like to
believe
say.
what I found. Do you know how high up he is in my
Oh, he's that high on my list as well.
I can't.
Okay.
What is going on?
Should we go through?
Can we start with Eze at 10?
Baller. Rather have him than Havertz and...
Okay, but you say baller.
He is a baller.
But is he actually good and is he
No,
effective?
he is. He's
Yeah.
very effective.
Have you not seen him since he's come back from his injury in the last 4 games?
Okay,
He's
but,
been their best
okay,
player.
but what you're
Well,
going
what's
off-
Gallagher? What's
what-
Gallagher been doing?
What you're going
What's
off
Gallagher
is
been
a
doing?
very, very limited time in the Premier League.
Oh, okay. What
He's
about
been
last
injured
season? What
the
about
entire
last
season.
Okay, what about last season?
He was their star man last season.
Best player.
A star man.
Not
He
best
was.
player.
He was there. He was Crystal Palace's best player.
Wasn't, but
He
he's-
was.
But that doesn't warrant him a place in the top 10.
No, he gets into number 10. He was the best
We've
player last
got
season.
some of the best players in the league.
He was the best player in the
this
Championship
list.
the season before. Best player in the Championship the season before. Best player for Crystal Palace last season. And he's come back from his injury, Achilles injury, bad injury. He was going to be in the England squad, by the way, preliminary, and
Okay, but-
and he's bossed it.
Okay, best player for Crystal Palace. That's like one level.
To be fair, he is.
And then we've got Jadon Sancho, who's been the best player for Dortmund for
Yeah.
We can't do
a
it
few
in the Premier
seasons
League.
now.
We're doing under 22
Yeah.
Premier League lists.
It's
He's
been
got-
one season.
Okay.
You're going to
Can't
judge
do
him
it.
off one season?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, because he's only played for one season in the Premier
In
League.
the Man United Man
I
United
don't-
team that he's playing
Wait,
right
so
now.
Well,
let
is
me
that
get
better
this
than the
right.
Palace
And he's shown that he's a good player.
Is that team better than the Palace team?
Yes, that team's
Of
better
course
than
it is.
the
So why is
Palace
he not
team.
thriving
Right.
at more than Eze is?
Yeah.
He still is.
No, he's not. He's awful.
He's still.
He's
is
got no
playing
effect on
as
any
Eze
game.
is
He's
playing.
got no- he's-
product.
No effect on the
Neither
game.
does Eze.
He just gets
You clearly haven't seen his free
He
kicks.
doesn't.
Oh, I actually.
Wait, so you guys are putting Kulusevski ahead of Sancho just
Yeah.
because Kulusevski has played like 10 good games.
I don't have
But Sanchez. Yeah, okay, you don't. But neither of them on my list.
I'm judging
Five words
most
out.
of their time on in the Premier League.
Yeah, because it's a Premier League under 23.
Okay.
Kulusevski's
Given that
time in the
Sancho's
Premier
never
League
been
is
good for England,
hard
and
to
since
call.
being in the Premier League has never been good.
He hasn't
Just
been
because his
bad.
stat
Kulusevski
pads,
hasn't been incredible.
he's been very good.
He's
been-
No, he has been very
he's been
good.
exceptional.
People overhype it just
Yeah,
because.
I agree.
Just
No,
because
he's been very
they
good.
feel like they've completed the front three when they.
They have to a certain extent. They have to a certain
wouldn't-
extent.
They
have,
probably
they
wouldn't
have.
have got top 4 without him.
Yeah,
Kane and Son are still the shining
but
players.
obviously
No,
they're the
but
two
by a
best.
But
long
you
way,
can agree,
Kulusevski's not on that level.
without
I'm not
signing
saying they are.
Kulusevski, they wouldn't have got top 4.
I'm not saying they are on.
Probably.
He's nowhere near their level, but Kane and Son are two of the best
He's
players in the
massively
league.
improved their team. Massively improved
I
their
think
attack.
Lucas Moura is disgustingly underrated. But that's an argument for another day.
Well, why does he get benched?
Do you
over
think? Do you
Kulusevski?
think Moore is better than Kulusevski?
I don't think either of them are that good.
Overall, I think so. Yeah.
Kulusevski's
That
added
is one.
something
Can
else
we
to
just
Spurs' attack.
appreciate? Henry Murphy has said Lucas Moura is better than
Why is that so
Kulusevski.
ridiculous?
It's
That's
an
a ridiculous
outrageously
statement.
abhorrent
Just because he's had
shout.
10 good games.
Abhorrent.
Okay.
What did you
Chill out,
I
okay?
said Lucas Moura
Is
is
better than.
better overall in his career.
We're not talking about
obviously.
career.
Why are you
He's
waffling
better.
about-
Kulusevski's 22, Moore is
better.
31.
But why does that have anything to do with it?
You just said over their career he's been better when Mora's had a
No,
12-year
but
career.
No, that's not the argument.
Kulusevski's had a
I
3-year.
think I'd rather have Martinelli in my attack than Kulusevski.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
that's just incorrect.
just
I mean, there's an opinion.
Why?
It's
Okay.
just incorrect.
He's-
Right, let's move on from number 10.
But
Okay.
Kulusevski's
Let's
had
move on
that
from number
balance.
10.
No,
Who
I
did you
got-
guys?
I got Smith Rowe at number 10. Let's talk about Smith Rowe.
That's
He didn't make my list. He didn't make my list. I'll say that already.
Off the first half of the
He
season.
didn't make my list.
From
Incredible.
then, I would have put him in, but I don't know. From like January, he's been really
Okay,
poor.
but Louis, this is
So
the thing.
I think
So-
he just fell out of the top 10. for
No,
me.
this is the thing though. So you're saying, like, this season there have been 2 halves of the season. Smith Rowe was good in the first half. Kulusevski is good in the second half. So you're just putting Kulusevski in just because he's been good recently. If we'd done this a few months ago,
Wait,
you'd have had Smith Rowe in.
You put Kulusevski in, not Smith Rowe. That's a
I
joke.
know, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's
You're,
not a
you're
joke.
just
That's
basing
not
it
a
off
joke.
recent bias.
Okay,
It's
just
so
let
biased to
Henry
what's
shut
happening.
up.
No, shut
Shut
up.
up.
But,
Okay.
but how many goals and assists does Kulusevski have in his last 4 games?
I don't know.
No.
Okay.
He
Okay.
has that January.
So you've
bounce.
just proved
No,
that
but
we're
you
not
have
doing
that-
recency bias.
Didn't
No,
play
you
against
have
Arsenal.
bounce. You have bounce when you come to a club. You score a couple of goals, get a couple of assists when you come
He
to a
did
club.
more than just
and then you
score a
fall
couple
off.
goals.
Then
But-
you fall off.
But he hasn't been bad.
No, he hasn't
Like
been
he's
bad,
been
but-
great
He's been
recently.
like Martinelli.
Ever since Kulusevski has arrived in the Premier League, he's been great. He's added something else to the Spurs attack.
He's
and they're
added a third dimension to their
significantly
attack.
better than him. They no longer rely on Son and Kane.
Yeah.
And I know Smith Rowe's been great, but he's had a
Overall
very
this
he-
season,
he's
Smith
been
Rowe's
on
been
poor.
better.
No, but he's had poor form since February,
Yeah.
and he's consistently not been as good.
He's been out of the
And
team for
Smith
too.
Rowe's quite good
He's
last
been out of the team for too long. Smith Rowe. He doesn't start.
Smith Rowe
I know
wasn't
last-
that
At the
good
beginning of this
last
season,
season.
Smith Rowe was good. He's
Smith
like-
Rowe
he
doesn't-
rides with the ball.
He was
Okay, he doesn't
ridiculous at the
start.
start of the season, but
Best
he
ball carrier in the league.
Yeah, he's like
Henry, you can't put him ahead of him when he doesn't start for his team.
that's a good point.
He doesn't start. You
I
can't
mean,
put him
they swap him out.
Canate-
But
that's
Canate
what
He
doesn't
swaps
start
out
for
a
his
bit.
team.
Yeah.
Canate doesn't start for his team.
Yeah, but he's a lot better than Smith Rowe.
Oh, so that argument is.
And also he
suddenly
plays
bad.
he plays for Liverpool and he's got Matip and Van Dijk ahead of him. Smith Rowe's got Martinelli. ahead
Okay,
of him.
okay,
Right.
we can go on.
It's
for
it's
that.
not
different.
his fault that he doesn't start.
It's different.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
Okay,
To,
Theo. Well, I've got Mark Guehi at 9. I'm very fond
That
of
is
this player,
stinky.
but
That is
That's-
stinky.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
I felt like I had to get some centre backs in there. And I completely forgot about Martin Odegaard and Conor Gallagher. So I decided to go for a well-known man on this podcast. Yeah, I think it's been pretty solid.
Mark.
I have in my England team.
Henry, it's Mark Guehi, not Guehi.
Yeah.
Just
I said
so
Guehi.
you know.
I think it's been pretty solid for Palace this season. Tighten up that defence.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
he has.
he's
But
been
Him
top
and
10,
great.
top 10,
Yeah, but-
23 and under is
I thought I
quite.
had to have some centre backs in there.
There are definitely 10, 15 players that have been better than him this season and are just better players.
okay,
overall.
not 15.
Not
Actually,
15, yeah.
So it's
to
not
be
just.
fair, because there are players
You're
like
underrating
Anthony
a lot of
Gordon
these
who've been actually
players.
genuinely quite good. I'm being serious. Anthony
No,
Gordon.
okay, yeah,
no,
no,
he's
yeah,
been
no,
good.
he's
He's
been
been
good.
good.
You have Jacob Ramsey in there.
He was close to my top
Just a
10,
bit of
didn't
a-
quite make it.
But
Was he actually close to your top 10?
Based on this season, he's been better than Eze.
It's not just this season though. He's played like 4 games. He started like 4 games. What's your point?
that's probably one of the reasons why I'm not playing him.
I think that's fair enough because he's been injured.
I mean, he doesn't even.
But I know how good he is.
Doesn't even
My
get
star
anywhere
boy,
You're just because you have
Can't
QPR.
believe
He's going to
forgot
the
about
top.
Martin.
Should we move on to Martin?
Eze for the Ballon
Oh,
d'Or.
can I just ask, who do you have above Guehi, below Guehi in your top 10?
Eze.
And is
no,
he number 9?
Yeah, he's over
Okay, I can sort of understand.
Henry,
that,
who do you
but
have 10 and 9?
You crazy.
Missed out some
Gallagher,
players. No, but he's missed out some players.
No,
also.
he agreed.
I mean, he forgot about Odegaard.
He just said Havertz again.
I mean,
Oh, stop mentioning Havertz. He's
Okay.
washed.
okay,
Havertz
Henry,
has
So
scored a lot of goals
overrated.
this season.
okay, Henry, you tell me why Havertz is in your top 10.
Oh, here we go. The stats are coming up.
Where have you put him?
I've got him in 9th. It's not that outrageous. Like
It's not that outrageous.
I
but
deliberated it
I
for
wouldn't
a long
rate it.
time. I've got him ahead
7
of.
goals in 28 starts.
He hasn't been playing
As the
front the
number-
whole time.
That's just
his
factually
fault.
wrong.
That's factually
But
incorrect.
but he has. He's played in the front two
Every
every
single
single
game.
game.
He wasn't playing at front at the start of the season.
When?
Lukaku was playing out front.
They
Lukaku
play a
played for
front
about 4
two.
games, and then he
They
played.
play a front.
They
They
play a
don't.
front
They don't.
two.
They play a front three. They play.
They
the
have
striker.
one behind. Yeah, they've got one behind.
They don't. They play
And
Mount
then they've
Ryan
got
right
two
They
back.
play
there.
striker with 2 half
And then
forwards.
they've got
They've
left and
Odergaard.
right.
Louis, they do play 2 behind.
Louis,
Right,
you're
so
off.
about 4 or 5 games, Havertz played as a 10,
No,
and
they've
then
got
he's
two
been
in
playing as a
front.
central striker for the rest of the season.
What?
For the rest of the season, he's been playing as a central striker.
Yeah,
Doesn't
and I
played
think
like
he's
4
been very
games.
good.
Doesn't matter. This is not
He
a valid
hasn't-
argument.
And I think he's been very good.
He
This
has.
is not a valid argument.
He's a good finisher.
He gets overrated
Because
by.
he's been
he
playing
gets,
up front.
he gets
Smith Rowe's
overrated by
better.
He's good
Chelsea
on the ball and
fans.
he makes stuff happen. Like it's not that outrageous.
Smith Rowe's a better finisher than Havertz.
Okay, that is outrageous.
You think? Smith
Actually,
Rowe's a
that's
better
not
finisher
outrageous,
than
but-
Havertz.
It's not outrageous.
It's
I
not
think
outrageous.
Havertz is a better finisher.
Smith Rowe's that's one of his best
But
attributes.
I had Smith
fair,
Rowe
at
ahead
the
of
start of the
Havertz
season,
originally,
He's got, like,
and
one of
then I
the
put
top
Havertz.
versions.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just don't think Havertz has really
He's just not
shown
very good.
anything.
He's been here long enough, and he still
He's
hasn't
scored
shown
some goals,
anything.
and I mean, that's pretty
He
much
still hasn't even
expected at this
scored that
point.
many goals.
But I don't understand how
But-
you can dismiss this argument and have Jadon Sancho in the team. It doesn't make any sense.
What?
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho
Jadon
has
Sancho?
been less effective.
No,
than Havertz.
just
I think he's bringing him in for the
just
Bundesliga.
as the player he is,
I think he's
and like you can watch him play and you see that he's a top player,
But you haven't-
and the potential that he has. Like we've got to include that as well.
He's-
He definitely gets into a top 10.
I bet you put him higher than 6.
No,
If I say Jadon Sancho in 3rd or something on Henry's
Oh
list.
God, is Henry?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
who have we got? Should we talk about
Is
Ibrahima?
No,
Wait,
it's a
Do we all have him at 8?
Kanate.
I
Henry-
don't have him on 6 to 10.
7 to 10.
Okay,
7 to 10.
I'm hoping that you have him in your
I
in the
think-
rest of your list.
I can't
Because
wait
if
for
not,
that.
then there are some players that you put over
I think
him
that's-
ridiculously.
We'll find out later.
But I mean,
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
he hasn't been. He hasn't played every game this season. I mean, he's barely played, let's be honest. But when he has,
Champions
he's
League.
Yeah, no, he's been
Yeah.
good.
And
He's been good.
he's
I
been
think
great.
he deserves a.
The fact that
a
he is
P8.
not in the France squad, it shows either how good they are, how stupid Deschamps is. If he's putting
They're not good.
Kurt Zuma,
He's a good player.
Kanate.
Kurt's a good player.
yeah. But
Kurtz is another one.
Kanate, he hasn't played a lot this year, so it's hard to
Yeah.
put him into
Yeah.
the team.
Yeah, Henry, he hasn't played enough
Like-
to put him in.
no,
They get
he's been
silly.
He,
He's
but
been
he
good
hasn't
this
played enough, Henry.
No.
He's also playing next to Van Dijk, and it's like if you're playing just like
I do always like to
12 games.
question whether playing. Well, obviously, it's easier playing next to Van Dijk, and does it make you that much of a better centre back? Let's say we put Mark Guehi next to Van Dijk. I'm not saying he's going to be as good, but like he would be a much better player.
Of course.
But
So you've got to look at the.
when Konate and Matic
Look
have
at-
played together, they have still been good.
When
Yeah.
have they played together?
They have been good.
quite a few
Well, they
times.
haven't played
When
together,
have
but,
they played
but in the
together?
FA Cup
Very,
final for
very
about 20 minutes they
occasionally.
played together.
Occasionally, but they have played together.
Okay.
And they,
Okay.
Apart from the FA Cup final, when have they? I've
No,
never
for the
heard
last
of
there's
that.
been the odd game. There was one game I
Very
remember,
odd game.
literally a
Start.
single game.
On
Start
Wednesday.
where they both
Single
start.
game. Was it Van Dijk? Didn't play
That
on
was on
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Oh,
he didn't
okay.
play. I didn't watch the game though, so I don't know.
Yeah, neither did I.
Um,
Oh, I'm kidding. I did watch it.
right. Have we discussed all of them?
Have you talked about Odegaard?
I wanted him to put him at 6. I wanted, but
I've got him
then
at 8.
because he's 23, he doesn't quite have the potential number 6 has.
So I'm sensing that Theo forgot about Odegaard.
I'm going to be
Which
honest.
makes me slightly question
I want to
who's
put Odegaard
got-
higher.
who he's got ahead
I
of that.
love
So
Odegaard.
I think the first 5 picked
No,
himself.
I think the
but
front
we'll
6.
get.
The fact that you put Rhys James 7, I think. Is
Oh
quite-
right, we need to talk about that. Why is Rhys James 7th?
Look, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I appreciate he's a very.
I can't believe
He's, putting
that.
out there,
Game
he's,
of
he's
speed.
my number 1.
No, you can't say that now.
Okay, let's be real.
He's not mine.
Louis got Odegaard over James, so
Okay.
he's.
Why are you assuming that, Henry?
He just,
What?
I can't think of another
I
player.
could not. Okay. Just let me. I think he's a very good fullback, and he's solid all round. He can defend. He can go forward. But there are just. I put him 7th. There are 6 players that I think. Maybe not all 6 of them are better players as of now.
Yeah, I've got him 7th
But-
as well.
Overall, they've got better potential, and they're.
To say James is just an average, like all-round player, can
Well, I
do a
didn't
bit
say
of
average.
both.
When did I say average?
You act-
I
no,
said he was
not
a top
average.
fullback.
You said no. You said he was good, like all-round player, can do a bit of defending, can do a bit of
Yeah,
attacking.
he is.
Acting
I don't
like,
think he's special.
acting like he's
going
Nathaniel
forwards.
Klein. He's
I feel-
special going forwards. He is. He's powerful. He's quick. He can beat a man. He can put an absolute delicious.
No, he's
pass
good
in.
across.
He's a very. He's a great
He's
player.
He's complete.
He's
He's
a great
pretty
player.
complete.
Yeah, he is.
I've forgotten them. Oh,
But there are 6 players that I
England's
think
most
just edge
complete
it for me.
fullback. England's most complete fullback.
Exactly. that's what-
I agree with that as well. He
That's
is
why
more
he's in my
complete
England
with.
team.
He's more complete than Trent, but I think Trent's far the better player.
I
mean,
agree with you on
when
that,
Trent
but-
and Rhys James retire, you can be talking about Trent as the greatest Premier League right back of all time. Rhys James is going to be like, you know, a
Cole
top
Walker.
player like a Zabaleta who's underrated.
Okay,
No,
let's
Zabaleta's
not
an
take the
underrated
risk.
player.
He was alright, but
but-
he's just a steady
No,
fullback.
he's just-
James is more than
He's
a steady
a great
fullback.
player, but I just don't see his potential, and I
James is
don't
not
think
bad.
he's going to be
James
as
is
good in
bad
the
nothing.
future as the 6 other players that I put ahead of him.
I agree with Theo. So why do you have him at 7th, Henry? Is it just because you have the
Rhys
better
James.
players? Yeah.
I think I've got better players ahead, and I agree with Louis that like, I think he'll get better, but he won't. I don't think he'll get that much better, and I think the players ahead have like a ridiculous amount of potential.
I just think he's so complete. He's energetic. He's strong, quick.
He's strong, that's true.
He's very strong,
He's
quick,
got
good at defence. He's
He's got
literally
good
got it
I'm
all.
not denying that he's a top player, but there are
Okay.
just 6 players that are better.
Okay.
Right, I think we should move to 6 to 4.
6 to
let's
4.
do it.
Okay,
We'll start with Henry Murphy.
Let's start with me. Okay.
You're
I've
6
got-
to 4.
Canate at 6. Saka at 5. And Foden at 4.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh no, sorry, Wolfie.
I thought you forgot something. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Have a quick look at my list. Sorry, I forgot. It's all right.
Shall I go?
Okay.
Okay.
I
Oh, no,
have
you will forget.
number 6 is Mason.
Tadlow.
Number 5 is Phil.
Oh my god.
And number 4 is Bakaya.
How
It's
high
classic
Rhys
Arsenal
James?
fan.
Oh my god. Right.
Classic Arsenal fan.
Okay, right.
What
What
comments
are you
are
going? What are you going for?
Late, come on man.
Okay.
The 2 Arsenal
Number
fans.
6, I've got Mason Mount.
Yes!
And number 5, I've got Declan Rice.
Ooh.
And number 4, I've got Martin Odegaard.
Wait, he's forgotten something, surely. No, he hasn't. No,
That's
he's
high.
put
Honestly, I respect having Odegaard that high because he's
a ball.
next
who's he got
level.
ahead?
We'll speak about him
Alright.
afterwards, but we'll
So, number 6.
let's not think about this. We're going to Guy
Top
first.
3.
We're going to Guy
Alright.
first.
Oh,
We're
Louis!
going to Guy first. Let's
Okay,
put it
now I
right.
don't respect the Odegaard. Okay, so I've got Bukayo at number 6.
I love that.
Oh my god.
Number 5, I have Mason Mount.
That's disgraceful.
Boss, who have you got in your...
Guys,
And number 4, I've got Phil Foden.
Wait.
So we've got the same 3.
can I just say, Bukayo Saka is disgracefully low on that list.
Facts.
Oh my god.
Number 6.
There's some
Theo and Geek, what have you done?
Okay, no, with
What are you on
Henry.
about?
I thought my list was bad. Your list is...
Okay,
Oh.
let's start.
It's the first time with this podcast I've been genuinely like confused. But anyway, we'll carry on.
About what?
It doesn't matter, but...
He's got
Louis Theo, why
Bukayo, he's got Martin Odegaard ahead of Declan Rice.
Yeah, I think that's outrageous. Anyway,
I don't think it's outrageous because Martin Odegaard's that good, but
Outrageous.
Okay, Louis, why don't you just talk us through your picks in general? So I think it's quite good to compare the players with this. So you've got Odegaard 4, Rice at 5, Mason Mount at 6.
wait, who does he have at like 7 and 8?
He's got then James Canate. So let's talk about Odegaard.
I'm going to
and
start with
Mount.
Odegaard.
Odegaard and Mount's a good comparison.
I honestly believe, Odegaard has completely changed the Arsenal team. And he's up there with one of the best number 10s in the world. There are really not that many that are better than him. And Henry, you can
No,
laugh.
I know,
but
I
you,
know,
you won't be able to name
No,
better
I'm
ones.
I
just,
agree.
No, sorry,
I
I'm
agree with
agonising
Louis.
over
Yeah,
my picks.
Whenever I watch him play, I'm just absolutely astonished by how
Let
good
me
he is.
play devil's advocate. Where's he been for the last 4 games then?
Where's he been for the last 4
Vic,
games?
you stop basing it off the last
No,
four
but
games.
I want to know.
He's been playing for 3 years or
Okay.
whatever.
If you want to put him at 4th in your list, he needs to have consistency.
This podcast is based as players as a whole, their potential, how good they are.
Okay, not this podcast, this show.
Okay,
This
that's a good point.
I think
This
that's
episode.
Episode 4 of the Touchline.
And I'm not basing it on the last 4 games. But even so, other than Newcastle, he's still been one of our best players. Just
I agree.
consistently, he's our best player in almost
I
every
agree.
single game.
No, that's
Him and Bukayo Saka consistently. Odegaard's our most important.
I feel like Odegaard going missing.
Everything going forward revolves around him.
So why did you have Saka ahead of him? Just because of potential?
Because
he's
I'm
younger.
saying Odegaard's the more important player, but
So you
Saka's
think
the better
Saka's-
player
okay.
and far more potential.
I think Odegaard does go missing soon. I think he feels a bit out, especially at the moment with El Neni in
He's
the
always
midfield.
the
He feels a bit out of place.
and
He doesn't really get the ball that
So-
much.
no, he doesn't get the ball that much because the second Partey left the team, but that's not his fault. He's playing with El Neni and Xhaka
Yeah,
at
but
the
he needs
base.
to thrive in different
And let's be
teams.
honest, Xhaka and El Neni are not the most progressive passers, and we all know
Xhaka
that.
is.
I mean, he's not
So-
really.
Theo, why have you not got Odegaard in your top 10? Is it because you forgot?
Well, it's first of all, I forgot. I wouldn't have had him in my top 6.
Okay. You'd have
Mount,
him,
you can't
yeah.
ignore the Mount stats. I don't think Foden. Well, he has got some degree of potential and some.
Who'd you have at
more.
4?
More
Bukayo. I think Bukayo's a better player than Mount. That's why I put him above him. Although the stats don't say he's more important for Arsenal. I think if you take Mount out the team.
Mount's their only creative.
I agree with
No,
that.
I
He
know.
needs
But you've got. He's their most. He's not their only creative player.
Their most creative players are
Then
their
we
wing
just talk
backs.
about Pulisic. Jesus Christ, he's awful.
Their wing
Did you
backs
see
are
the
their
open
most
goal
creative
in
players.
this?
Not,
No,
I
so
haven't
that's
seen
great.
that, but I heard on the
It's
radio.
awful.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah,
I think-
it was.
I think
Wasn't an
No,
open
it
goal
wasn't.
there.
If you look at Mount, he plays right forward, right most of the time.
Right attacking mid, yeah.
Yeah, top player. But he doesn't impress me enough on the ball for me to put him above Saka.
He impresses me a lot.
I sort
More
of
than
understand that. Like when I'm watching him play, he doesn't like wow me on the ball.
He
It
wows me on the
doesn't
ball.
Yeah, but
mean-
Who does wow you on the ball?
Doesn't-
Martin Odegaard. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
okay,
Odegaard.
fine.
If we're going to look at stats, then we're
But
going to look at
Saka
impressing
doesn't.
in the
Saka
game.
Henry,
doesn't
who
wow
wows
you.
me on
He
the
doesn't.
ball. Every single player that up in my list now
See,
wows me on the
Saka
ball.
wows you on the ball more than
So
Mount.
Yes.
Declan Rice wows you on the ball more than Mason Mount.
I just said everyone on my list. I haven't said yet. Everyone above.
Yeah, so Declan
They all
Rice is
wow
nice.
me on the
Said
ball.
he said.
Declan Rice.
He
is
said
No,
nice.
from now on.
Right, I think we should
Should we?
Henry, I'm-
address Declan Rice. That's
Henry.
quite low.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
Louis, well,
I
Declan
think
Rice.
it is quite low, but
Odegaard and probably Saka. I'm not going to give any clues. Ahead of.
Well, if he
I
doesn't have Saka in his top
Okay.
10,
I'm just going to assume you have Saka somewhere in your top 3. Saka ahead of Rice is criminal.
I
That is
I
love
agree with that.
Declan Rice.
That is
He's a
criminal.
Great number 6, but
That
he
is
doesn't
actually
have
criminal.
anywhere near the potential that my
but
top 3 have.
let me ask you a question.
And
Let's say you build a team from scratch. Yeah, you build a team from scratch. You have a choice between these two players in a scratch team. Do you pick Rhys James or do you pick Bukayo Saka?
Why are we bringing Rhys James?
Because you
into
put him
this?
7th.
Oh, I still can't get over Rhys
Bukayo
James at
Saka.
7th from
You
YouTube.
pick,
I picked Bukayo.
Oh,
We're
it's just
talking about a
not
scratch
correct.
team. I picked Bukayo Saka over
But-
Rhys
but-
James
but-
any day of the week.
but we're talking about Rhys James competing with Trent. And I think we can all agree that Trent's leagues ahead of Saka. Just in development.
Trent
but,
is
but James is competing with him now. I don't understand really how you can have Rhys James.
Let's not talk about it.
yeah
Rhys James above him. To be honest,
above him
I mean below Saka. It doesn't really make much sense to me.
because right now Saka's the better player and he's got far more potential. That's the simple reason.
But you put Saka and Odegaard above Mount and Rhys James. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing worse in the league, and they're both the two main players for both teams.
Okay, but that's so stupid because you're not using context at all. Look at the rest of the team. Just look at the rest of the team. I mean, you don't like, it's not rocket science to work out that Romelu Lukaku's going to do a better job than Eddie Nketiah, no matter how bad you say Romelu Lukaku is.
Louis, can we just clear up that you have Odegaard and Saka ahead of Declan Rice and Rhys James?
That is criminal.
We can clear that up for you.
That is outrageous.
Okay.
I think Rhys James is criminal.
Yes, because you also have him at
Henry,
7th,
you-
which
you-
is
Yeah,
criminal.
you have Carl Walker as the right back in your own team.
It's
so-
criminal.
That's because he works with the system. I'm not saying he's better.
Oh.
It doesn't work with the system in a back 4, does he?
He works with the system in a back 4.
No, it's-
Carl
Carl
Walker.
Walker.
Of course he does.
Yeah, he does. No, that is, I think that's criminal. What else? What other shouts have we got? I think the Rice thing. Can you please explain to me how Odegaard's more important to a team than Rice? Please explain that.
That's not what we're basing it.
When did I say that?
Don't.
We think Odegaard's a better player than Rice.
When did I say that? I said Odegaard's a better player, not more important. They're different things.
But then you're going off like his
He's got-
potential at the age of 16.
He's
All
got
of
more
that
potential.
narrative
What
coming
do you
back
mean?
in. Oh, but
They're not
more
16.
potential. So why do you not have Callum Hudson-Odoi in this? He's supposed to have bags of potential.
But he doesn't have bags of potential.
Where did Callum Hudson-Odoi come from?
Odegaard.
You can't base it
Theo,
on
the
pure
problem
potential.
here is your Odegaard's your arguments don't make sense.
Odegaard
You're
Why are
basing-
you talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi?
Because I was talking about potential.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
and
You
I'm
also-
saying
you base
Odegaard's got
everything-
more potential than Rice.
So that's why you put him
You
above him.
you can't say Odegaard's just on
That's
potential
one of the
because he's
reasons.
been really good this
That's
season.
one of the
No,
reasons.
he's been good, but nowhere near. Declan Rice plays.
Oh, no, but
Nowhere
plays-
near Declan
Oh, yeah.
Rice.
Nowhere
near.
near Mount for me.
The level that Rice
Close
is
to
at
Mount,
is,
close to
is,
Mount.
is at
Nowhere
Fabinho
near
and
for me.
Rodri. Every single game. Every single game he plays at different
He's
levels.
literally you watch him. He's literally a mountain.
Odegaard
in the
goes
midfield.
missing.
He's a mountain.
Who, Odegaard?
No, Rice.
No, but
It's very
Odegaard-
hard
I
to
thought you were
say.
talking about Mount.
It's
I
very
thought you
hard
were
to
saying
say
Mount as well.
Odegaard goes missing. He doesn't go missing. He doesn't get the ball because of El Neni and Xhaka behind him. When Partey was playing, he was twice the player than he
But
was.
Rice turns up in every game and he's playing in an arguably weaker
He's in
team.
number 6. It's
Yeah,
a
so he can
different
pick up the
position.
ball, so he can pick up the ball.
What, a Cam can't pick up the ball?
It's
He can, but it's more difficult.
it's
Why-
a
why is it
different
more
Because then you have
position
to start dropping
because
into
he
number 6.
relies
If you're number
on
6,
those two
you're driving with the
midfielders.
ball.
No. What are you talking about?
Declan Rice has got
Cam's
the most drives forward.
It's
in the
10
Premier
Yeah,
League.
times
because
easier
the
to get the
best.
ball as a
No,
number
because he's
6
a
than a
number
number
6.
10.
He's a driving, attacking
But
number
he's
6.
so he's got the because he's a number just purely because he's a number 6. He's got the most runs of the ball. It's because he's the best. It's because he demands the ball the most. It's because he tries to get involved
Because
in
he's
the
in
game.
that role.
His
And
movement.
No, I agree with that. It just makes
it's
it
easier to get onto
It
the
makes it
ball
easier
in
if you're
that
number
role.
6, but Rice
obviously.
is more commanding and he's better
Yes.
on the ball.
And he's a better player.
I think he's better on the ball.
I think
Better
he
on the
is.
ball.
And he's got more potential as a
But
player.
and that says a lot for me because Odegaard, what he's supposed to be good at, is on the ball. And Rice, along with being for me better on the ball than Odegaard, is also better at
He's not better on the ball.
intercepting.
Not technically.
Odegaard
Not
is
technically,
far
but-
technically better.
Yeah, obviously,
Yeah,
technically.
but that's
but-
just like
And better on the ball
There's,
as
but
well.
also there's
He's
an
a
attacking
massive-
bias as well that you have attackers ahead of these kind of defensive players. That's why I try to get a couple.
Rice is that good that
Yeah.
it's just.
But Rice at Fabinho and Rodri's level.
Where does everyone have Foden?
I've got Foden at 4.
No, say where everyone has him.
Well, Theo's got him at 5. We've both got him at 4, and Louis
Top 3.
I'm not in the list or top 3, right? Presume.
So
Foden is criminally low to have him at 5 and 6.
no, we've got him at
4 and
4.
5.
Me and Henry have him at
5.
4.
I'm 5.
Theo's got him at 4.
Okay,
Or I
no,
can-
I'm going to talk about this one. Theo, you've got Saka over Foden.
Yeah, it's simply because that I don't think Foden's done enough statistically this season. That's my reason.
He might.
Statistically.
I think he might have more goals and assists.
He doesn't. It's close. But
In all
also, you have to take
in all
into account.
competitions.
No, let's not talk about competitions. We're not even in the flipping in a European.
Yeah, and you have to take into account the fact that
No,
Saka's
let me
played.
look on the
Saka's
Premier
played
League.
Saka's played
36 out of 37
No,
games this
it's,
season.
we're just talking about Premier League players. It's not how. It's not based on how they play in the Premier League. Just so
Yeah,
alert.
obviously not.
I mean, obviously,
I'm talking about
8
everything,
goals.
right?
See, in the Premier
FA
League,
Cup
he's
run.
got more theory.
I'm
What
talking
are you
about
trying
the
to
fact
prove?
that Phil Foden changes City's team. They're a
No, he
better
doesn't.
team.
Phil
than them.
Foden
Okay, I don't
has-
think he
It's
changes.
not, he doesn't
City's
change
team.
Phil
Yes.
Foden has twice as much potential as Saka.
I
That's
agree with
fact.
that. I
Yeah,
agree
but I'm
with
not
that.
going
Twice is a bit far.
Part of it.
Oh, so that, but that's the reason he's got Kai Havertz in his list, isn't it? And that's
He's a
ridiculous.
better player as well.
He's not
Phil
better.
Foden, better player than Saka. He's got more potential.
Phil Foden's a better player than Saka, but Rhys James and Declan Rice.
If I
aren't.
pick a
I
team
can't-
tomorrow, I'd have Havertz over Smith.
I can't get over that.
But also, I don't understand the Declan Rice thing. He's a known quantity. How can you not have him in your top 2, at
Yeah,
least 3?
It's crazy.
Top 2.
It's crazy.
He's a known quantity.
Okay,
I
we've
think
got to
we-
move on. We can't move
So
on.
I think
'cause
we saw a few comments last time that maybe Louis does actually know ball.
I do know the most.
I think
ball.
we found out in this video Louis
Okay.
does not know
Okay,
ball.
so I've got the
That's
stats
straight
for
facts.
Foden and Saka. Foden has played 27 games,
Yeah, you have to.
9 goals, 5 assists. Saka has played 37, 10 more. He's only got 2 more goals. He's only got 1 more assist. So that accounts to. So Foden has more goals.
It's just-
And then obviously you have
It's
to
the
take into
better
account that
minute per
Foden's
goal
playing in
ratio.
Manchester City. Which
Exactly.
is not really.
Yeah,
a
I know.
comparison.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not an unfair
But-
comparison. It's completely different.
I think we should move on.
Saka's
So-
been far better this season,
Yeah,
but
But makes
Foden.
your argument
is far better-
statistics
far better.
is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No, it is. And by the way, I'm not arguing. I think Foden's a better player than Saka.
Half of these things are based on statistics. How they played this season.
But it's not how they played this season. Just like you've
I'm
got to
not
take into
using-
account
You're the
everything.
one using just potential for Martin Odegaard.
What?
I'm not saying that. That's like a few good seasons now.
Are
he's-
you getting
he's
this
growing in.
potential thing with Odegaard? He's been really good this season.
Yeah.
Like,
He
Louis
has,
has
he
him way
has.
too
I
high
agree.
to having ahead of Rice and Mount.
But Louis
Well, I
said
mean,
he
he's
was.
one-
and-
he's
and
one
James,
ahead of
and
Rice.
James. Odegaard should be 7th and 8th. in
Henry,
my
you put
opinion.
James 7 as well. What are you talking
Yeah, but I
about?
didn't have Odegaard over James.
Yeah, but you still
But
got
then
James
you've had
Harden.
6 other players
And you
that
had
are
6
not
other
all
players.
better
Yeah,
than
Canate
Odegaard.
over James.
Yeah, wait, go through your 6.
I don't agree with
Henry,
Canate
go
over
to your
James.
6 to 4. Go
Canate
through
over
them.
James.
I got Canate at 6,
Yeah.
Saka at 5, Foden at 4.
So you got Saka and Kanate over Rhys James. That's criminal.
Yeah.
So criminal.
It's actually criminal.
If I were to change it, I'd definitely keep Canate ahead of Rhys James, but
Oh my
I would
God,
maybe put
that's
Rhys
crazy.
James ahead of Saka.
It's
You
crazy.
keep Canate over Rhys James.
I think
It's crazy.
Canate-
Okay,
Oh,
we need to move
crazy.
on. So we'll start with our number 3.
These
I
two,
think.
I'm sorry, Henry and Louis don't know ball. I've had enough. They don't know ball.
You just saying that doesn't mean we don't know.
No, you don't.
Okay.
The viewers will
Okay.
agree with me here.
Wait,
They don't
Comment
know
down
ball.
below.
You can put Eze in your top 10
Yeah.
because he played for QPR.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the sole reason.
Right, let's start on there.
I mean, what are the odds he doesn't get into
I'm
the
looking
top?
for a
though,
10th
no.
player, and I just overreach you.
Okay,
You
this is-
both
he
just
my
put him
star
on
boy.
Yeah,
for
but I
like,
forgot
why not?
about Gallagher and
What about Pedro
He's
Neto?
clear. He's
I
been
mean, he's
injured
even-
too long. He was good. He was
Okay.
good for a period. But
Okay, we do need to
Too
move
long
on.
out
So,
there.
Guy, you're going to give us your number 3.
Let's go for Unos
Are we just
Express.
do number 3?
Just give us number 3.
Just
Number 3, I have Mr. Declan Rice. At number 3 is a monster of a man.
Okay.
Declan Rice, number 3.
And number 3, I have Bukayo Saka.
Finally.
The Arsenal bias is unbelievable.
From me,
Yeah, it's
from Louis,
unbelievable.
the Arsenal bias is like.
They got Saka and Odegaard ahead of Rice and Mount and James. What is going on?
Well, I mean, Saka's a better player than Mount.
Okay, well,
Actually-
actually,
Wait,
just-
wait. Are you seriously telling me that you think Mount is a better player than Martin Odegaard? Because
Yes,
I think that's...
yes,
I,
yes.
100%.
I'd
think
rather have Mount this season.
Odegaard is a
It's-
far
I
better
think
player.
Mount is exceptional.
A far better player.
I can't. Do
I
it.
think he's seriously underrated. Like,
Yeah, but
are
if
you
you're-
not...
They
He's
can't be
such
a
a top
better
quality
player
player.
and still not perform. Like Paul Pogba's shown us that you can be a better player and not
Yeah,
perform.
it's facts. It's
Mount
facts.
consistently gets on.
But
Every time
Odegaard's
I'm like, every time I
performance-
put Foden,
No,
I
he
put
hasn't. He's gone missing.
I put Foden-
in games.
I put Foden ahead of Mount in this list, and because I'm just like, he just looks better. But Mount keeps performing every season.
You keep
And
saying
at some point you need to
Odegaard
just...
goes missing.
But you
He
put
doesn't
Foden
go
ahead of
missing.
I said I put him ahead of Foden ahead of Mount, but I was like, at
It's
some
because,
point I've got
as
to
I've said
put Mount ahead.
multiple occasions, it's not his fault when he has El Neni and Xhaka behind him. That just
You gotta play
he
with
doesn't
stuff
receive
around
the ball, and he did receive the ball when
Go look for the
Partey.
ball then.
But
When-
Rice is playing a worse team than
Go
Saka
look
and
for the ball.
Odegaard, and you've put them both ahead of Rice. Like, what's
Yeah.
that?
Anyway,
I think they're
moving on to
better
number
players.
3. Henry, who do you have at number 3?
I have.
Wait, Theo, have you done who you've got? at number
No, let me just tell you. Okay, so have you seen my third?
No, no one's gonna like my third.
My top 3 are all equal. My top 3 are all equal.
Henry, after
I
you
put
shouted
Trent,
at
I
me,
put Trent at third, but my
No,
top 3 are
I'm
all
gonna
equal.
get shouted at. I haven't said that. I'm just shouting at you before I get shouted.
So Theo's got Trent at number 3.
But my
Henry.
top 3 are all equal.
Theo's got Trent at number
So it's John first.
You got
you have Trent at number 3.
Yeah, it's John
Right,
first.
just relax. Louis.
I like to say I also have Trent at number 3.
Wait, hang on. Who does Henry have ahead of Trent?
I can't think of players that are better than Trent.
You got-
Like anywhere near as good as Trent.
Right.
Gonna be honest.
Okay.
Oh fuck, he's got Mount! Oh
Shut up! Shut up!
Okay.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he's got Mount! He's got Mount ahead of
Has he
Trent!
not said Mount yet?
No!
Henry, this is your last episode on the podcast.
Louis, I don't know why you were talking.
Yeah,
You had Rhys
what
James
do you
at 7.
mean?
Oh, so did he! Oh no.
I think we all know I know the most ball on the podcast.
No, you don't. You
Okay.
I mean, no one is
Okay,
You've
okay.
literally just found. You've been found out this episode.
Who are we starting with?
Let's start with Declan Rice. I went first. Declan Rice number 3. I think it's pretty obvious he's
No.
that good.
Baller.
Henry, we're having a conversation.
Sorry.
He is an absolute mountain. There's not much more to say on
Are you
Rice.
talking
We've
Declan
already
Rice.
talked about
We've already
Rice.
talked
We
about
know
Rice.
how good he
He's
is.
a mobile
I mean,
Who do you have?
he is so good.
Louis at 3.
I've got Bukayo Saka.
I mean, we've spoken about this.
Can
I don't
I
think
just
we need to go into
can I just say I do think he's definitely number 4 like right wingers in the world. He's definitely number 4 for me.
Right,
And
I
he's
think-
he's world class and he's got potential, like ridiculous potential. He's going to be
Okay.
ridiculous.
Okay.
Taking
Can I-
my
can
We've
I-
already
can I-
spoken
can I
about.
just
We've
say-
already spoken about Saka. I think we should
this
move
is
on
a-
to
got
that.
separate
No, no,
points, Saka.
this is
I
an
don't
argument.
think he has that much potential.
Okay, but this is an argument that
That's
Theo
why I
uses all the
disagree.
time. You don't like it, but Mount is 23 and Saka's 20.
Thanks.
But that
That's
you
part
don't
of it,
like
it's
the
part of
argument,
No, it's
but
part
it's
of it.
perfectly
21,
valid.
which is
He's
nice.
20.
He's 20.
He's 20. That gives him that he's 3
3 more
years
years of
behind
development.
Mount in his development, and he's getting better every season, and you can see that. Okay,
Mount.
it was just this season he added
people
goals
say
and
Mount's
assists
better
into this
last
game, and he's playing
Yeah.
in an Arsenal team that I don't know, just seems so dysfunctional.
You
And
know,
then
going
if we're talking about
forwards.
Theo's thing about if you were building a team from scratch, who would you have in your team? I'd rather have Rice maybe because he has more experience than Saka.
Well,
Yeah.
Like,
As a
what's
star
wrong
player,
with
you'd
Saka?
rather have
that's
Mount. I mean, Rice.
pretty
sorry.
stupid
What, as a star player?
argument. There's a stupid argument if you're building a team from scratch.
I know, I agree, it's stupid.
'Cause I'd rather-
I'm just
'cause
saying what
I'd
he
rather-
said because it combats
I'd rather
what he's
have
saying
like the
about that
base of a
age.
team, but it doesn't mean
No, but
that.
Wright's of a different quality.
But he's also got more experience. He's club captain at 23, played for England a lot more
Exactly.
times, and he's just played a lot
That's
more.
why
since
he's
older.
in my top 2.
Okay, fine.
I haven't put him down. Rice is different quality compared to these guys.
Yeah, he is next
I
level.
have to make it very clear. I think Trent is unbelievable, but he is tied first.
I'll tell you about
Okay,
Trent
fine.
when
You're not
when I
doing
get to
tied
him.
first.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a cop.
I can't
You're not doing.
remember
You're
my-
not doing. You can say they're all equal,
You're
but
not
you're having a
doing
3-2.
tight.
Okay, he's number 3.
Otherwise,
but
I'd
he's
change
equal.
half my list right now, mate.
We'll talk about Trent later, but we can move on to
I think-
unless there's any other. Henry, who do you go with?
I'm just looking for any.
No,
other
Henry, who'd you
matchups.
go with at 3? Trent as
I've
well.
got Trent at 3.
I mean, we'll
but
talk
I
about
think,
that
I think,
later.
We can
I
talk
think
about
it's
Trent
also
later. We'll talk about
ridiculous.
Trent
I
later.
think the Mount Sack thing. I think they're also very equal kind of players. I think. At
He
this
doesn't have
stage.
anything outrageous in his list, doesn't
I
think
don't.
what he's
I've got
he's
a
not
normal
safe.
list.
It's not normal.
It's
Yeah,
the
nothing
right-
outrageous, but I
These
mean,
guys have just gone
the
for
most
stupid
the
shouts.
most
No,
outrageous
it's
shout
not,
of the
it's
day is Eze at 10. I don't
That's
know how he's got
not-
anywhere near the
He's
list. I'm going to be
10,
honest.
Yeah, to be fair, he shouldn't.
Well,
be
it doesn't
anywhere
really
near
matter.
It's a
What do you
little-
mean?
You're saying that's more outrageous than you having Saka ahead
Yes,
of Rice.
You've
obviously.
got Saka ahead of Rhys James and Rice.
Okay, Louis, say it right now.
Okay.
Martin Odegaard is a better player than Declan Rice.
Say it. Say it on here.
Because
Yeah.
I'm
Say
not
it, Louis.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know you don't think that. You just
Obviously,
love
I think that. I just love Arsenal. That's not
It's
the
just
reason.
bias.
Right now,
Yeah, it is.
Declan Rice is the better player.
Like, I don't want to say
But
it's
just,
bias.
and it's
everybody
pretty
knows
close.
it's not.
But he has potential to become. I don't care.
He's-
I see what
Rice
Rice is now.
Yeah,
So
don't
no-
get caught up on this
Yeah.
potential. I don't think he's saying that.
Yeah.
He
just
genuinely.
said
that.
No, no, no.
We
But
talk about
potential
said Rice
matters.
is-
Rice
said-
is a better player now, but
Potential
Wait,
matters.
did you just say that?
He's slightly better.
Oh.
It's very close, but he's
Okay,
a slightly better
it's
player
not.
now. But
It's
he's
not
got far
close
potential to be
at
much
all.
better.
There's leagues-
Okay.
there's leagues that
Yeah,
he
let's
can
move on because
Let's
you
move on
guys
to
get
number
bogged
two.
down.
Number 2, William Fraser. Who you got?
So number 2, I've gone for Rhys James.
That is.
Rhys James number 2.
think that's outrageously high.
I think that's outrageously high, but
I've gone for
I
Phil
think that's
Foden.
as stupid as another.
Phil Foden at number 2.
Decent shout.
I think that's outrageously high.
I've got Rhys James at number 2 as well.
So-
I've got
Sorry.
Declan Rice at number 2.
But none of us are going to have the same number 1, I think.
So the fact
I think you
us
guys.
two have Rhys James at 2 and you have him at 7. We've got the 2 best right backs in the world.
Yeah.
Under 23 in the Premier League. Rhys
No,
James and
we've
Trent.
got the 2 best right backs.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying they fit
Yeah,
this list.
of
And
course.
then Rhys James and Trent.
Okay.
They're England's probably 2 best players. Apart from Kane.
2 best players. So this is where
I'm not talking about for England, I'm just talking about generally.
Yeah, I agree.
But
They're so good. Are you not appreciating how good they are?
Whoa,
Rhys
whoa.
James.
Theo has said that Rhys James is better than Trent.
Yeah, but I've said that throughout.
He said
He's
that
always
throughout,
been- he's
and
always been
wrong,
on that train.
and I'll tell you when I give you
I've
my number one,
obviously
but-
got Trent over Rhys James.
But
Rhys James at 7. Are
Henry,
you not
who have you gone
appreciating
for?
how good he is?
Henry, who did you go for?
I got Declan Rice at 2.
Oh my god, it's got Mount number 1!
Shh.
No, I think they heard.
Oh my god.
Henry,
saying
Henry,
that,
I can confirm this is your last episode on the podcast. So enjoy it while it lasts, because that is the worst shout I've ever heard.
No,
I
you
think
didn't.
I'm the only one that knows ball in this podcast.
Well, obviously.
I think I've decided. I can't.
Yeah.
Whoa. You've got Rhys James at number 2. How do you know ball? You're saying Rhys James is a better player than Declan Rice.
I mean, that's...
It's very close. It's very close.
Ridiculous.
You've just
It's
been banging on
not.
for the last half an hour about how good Declan
Yeah,
Rice
and
is.
you're putting
And you put
Rhys
Rhys
James-
James ahead of him.
But I
He's
think-
a great
Okay,
player.
let's look
He
at.
is,
Okay, I'm
but-
going to look at me and Gee's top 3.
I think the top 3 should be really easy.
Exactly.
It's a clear top 3.
No. I don't think
by-
I don't think the top 3 should be easy. I think the top 3 are quite substantial.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
There's a gap between the top
Trent
3 and the rest.
Rice and
Trent
James
Rice and
are-
James are so far ahead of the rest.
Exactly, yeah.
I would make a point.
Trent Rice and James
I
are
would
that
make
far
a
ahead.
point that Trent is on a completely different level
You
to
can argue.
any of
You
these
can
other
argue that.
players.
You can
You're
argue that.
number ones.
No. We're still doing number 2. First of all, I want to say you guys put
That's
Phil Foden
genuinely,
way too low.
That's probably the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Phil Foden on the ball, just not even on the ball, just
No, I
technically,
agree with
as
that.
a footballer, technically is second on the list 100%.
I don't
Maybe
mind
first.
Phil Foden
He's
being
up
that
there
high.
with
I
Trent.
don't mind Foden
He's
being
got
that high.
ridiculous potential, and he's performed on big occasions, and he's consistently shown how good he is. I don't understand why you think he's not impactful. He's
He is.
Foden.
I say it's not impactful.
You did. Oh, you
For
talk
Man
about it all
City-
the time. Yeah,
Man City,
he
it's not
is.
impactful.
He is.
Yeah,
And he
him
showed that
having
against
Jesus, I'd rather have Jesus on the wing at the moment than him.
Yeah, that's at the moment.
But I still
But,
disagree
no,
with
but
that.
that's
That's the
what
thing.
I'm saying. The
Okay,
impact
fine.
isn't there. But no, but the impact isn't there. But why? The
That's
impact.
just like literally on like power rankings. It's like in F1 when like Alex Albon comes like 10.
No, but you see, do you see it? Are you telling me you see a noticeable difference between when, let's say, Grealish starts or Jesus starts, than when Foden starts?
Foden admittedly hasn't been incredible
Yes.
this season.
Yes, you do.
No,
Also,
I don't
I've
think-
got
Foden is
where have I got
3
Foden?
times the player Grealish is this season, or just in general.
No, even this season he is.
I think-
Just,
Yeah, turn your phone off there.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite opinionated, this topic, because there's a lot of
It's a
different factors.
lot of
Yeah,
debate.
I mean,
Because there's
this
a lot
is
of factors
very-
because you've got potential, how good they are now, how old they are within the bracket.
I agree.
I mean, I can't get over Louis putting a lot of these players ahead of Declan Rice, like Foden, Saka. For me,
to be honest,
none of them are getting near Declan
just my
Rice.
opinion. I just don't rate Declan Rice as highly as you do.
But I think seriously.
No, I honestly, I think he's a
at this
very
point,
top player.
I think you're just wrong.
Okay,
Yeah,
that-
I agree.
I don't know what else to say.
I don't
think
get how you
you're
cannot
wrong.
rate Rice.
Yeah.
If you've watched him enough this season,
Yeah.
I don't get how you cannot
But I just-
rate him.
He does everything in
He's
midfield.
he's not on
He's
the
lit
level.
every
of
game.
and-
Every game he does literally.
Yeah, he stands
everything.
out in that West Ham team.
He's literally there.
Obviously,
No,
he
no,
He
stands
stands
out.
out in every
He stands
he
out.
stands out in
He
any
stands
team.
out.
He stands out in
He's
any
that
team.
good.
And
He is
honestly,
that good.
He's
He's
a complete footballer and he's great, but just
He's come on so much.
there are
this season.
astonishingly good players ahead of him.
What,
Definitely
Martin
writing him
Odegaard?
down for most
And-
improved.
Martin Odegaard's an astonishingly good player.
Henry.
No,
Yes.
Right, I think we should do number 1. So we've spoken enough about
Right,
number
here we
2.
go.
This is the big one.
Who
And
is getting?
Henry, you can go
Now
last.
we're all saying who's the best under 23 player
In the Premier League. I'll
William
start.
Fraser up first.
I've gone probably the classic pick because he is the best. I've gone with Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Thank you very much, Guy.
There we go.
I've also gone for Trent because he's
You know he's about to go for.
Henry.
I've gone for Declan Rice.
That's fair enough.
I've gone for the Cobham boy, Mason Mount.
Oh my god, this hurts so much. Seriously,
It does
like
hurt,
you know when
doesn't
someone stabs you, that it kind of
Yeah, it
it hurts a
hurts
bit
me.
worse
I
than
think
that.
you know that feeling.
I think they
Henry.
roll up on the streets.
Do you really think that Mason Mount is a better player than Trent? Like, can you
I
honestly
like-
say that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mason
I-
Mount is a better
If
player
I'm
than
building a
Trent.
team, I'd rather have Mason Mount.
You know what this is for? You know what this is for? This is for the clips. It's for the clips.
Trent is the best right back in the world. I can guarantee you that when Trent retires, he will be known as the greatest Premier
Right,
League
Henry,
right
let
back
me
of
tell
all
you
time.
this. Let me tell you this,
The
Henry.
what?
The greatest Premier League right back of all time.
Well, that's not exactly difficult, is it?
Gary Neville.
You've got Gary Neville, that's it.
Zambrotta.
Zabaleta.
You think Mount's going to
Michael
be...
Richards, he burst onto the scene.
Right, Henry.
Oh,
Henry, I've always backed you on the Mount debate because I love Mount.
I think he's good.
I think he's clear as Saka. You don't think he's clear as
I think
Saka.
he's clear.
Okay, I think he's better.
beyond clear.
I think he's
like,
better.
So far clear.
Okay,
it's
I
unbelievable.
think he is.
Like, he's on the horizon.
No, he's not on the horizon.
I don't know
But
why
having
you don't.
Mount.
May I just have a look?
I think Saka's like criminally
Okay,
underrated.
okay,
But
let's
Henry,
just-
can
let's
I just say my
overrate
point?
What?
Having Mount,
Underrated.
Louis.
Saka.
Okay, can I just
Oh
ask,
my
like,
God.
I need a reason why you don't think Saka's good.
Like,
You can't just say he's not good.
I'm not going to say that.
No, but he's going to say he doesn't impress me on the ball.
But that's
He's going to say he doesn't
I think
impact
that's
the game
crazy.
enough, I think.
but that's also
No, he
crazy.
impacts the game enough. He doesn't impress on the ball enough.
I don't think. Look, this is difficult because I think Bukayo Saka's a really good player. So like, it just sounds stupid me saying because I do think he's a good player. I just don't think he's as good as the other players.
But
So
Henry-
if I were to find a weakness, I would say he doesn't make stuff happen enough on the ball. Like he was good in the Euros.
But
That one.
What you
game.
could say is he doesn't
And
beat a man.
You know why I'd
Yeah,
say
he doesn't
Saka?
beat a man that
Do you know
But
why
he's
I'd
so
say
great.
Saka's number 3? Because he beats a man and he
No,
makes
he's
things
not.
happen. In that
He makes
England
things
team,
happen
he
and
made
he's
things
creative,
happen.
but he doesn't beat
He
a man.
makes
He does.
things
He's
happen all
intelligent.
the time. He's intelligent.
He makes good
He's
runs.
so mature. He's 20. He
Mature.
beats a man every single time.
Right,
His
Henry, can I say what I was going to
decision-making
say?
is
He's 20. Also,
Yes,
also
he
the other
is.
reason for Saka, and I've stuck by this for a long time. I don't see him getting any better than he is now.
That's
But
that's-
Henry-
Actually, and
but
I
Henry-
genuinely
Henry-
believe that. I'm not just saying it
That's
because I
waffle.
don't like Arsenal.
But like,
I don't
why?
like Arsenal.
But why?
I don't think he's going to get better.
Why?
Because I watch players like Foden play.
Yeah.
He is like
Okay,
he's on the
regressive.
ball.
So-
he's so much better.
So Saka's
Foden
improved
will be so
every
much
single
better.
season.
No.
I'm telling you.
The phone will
In the next 3 seasons, you'll be watching Foden. He will have like at least one incredible season.
Let me just say
That's
one
why I
thing.
put number 2 because
Saka-
he's got
Saka
the
will
most
be-
potential I've ever run on that
Saka
track.
will be the one out of those 3 players, out of Foden and Mount, to reach the full potential and perform consistently.
I think he's close to.
Right,
seeing
can I say what I was going to say?
potential.
Henry, Mount.
Do you want to see who he's
Oh,
got?
hang on.
So look
Mount
who
ahead
he's
of
got.
Trent. I know who he's got. Mount ahead of Trent, Rhys James, and Rice.
Foden, Saka.
I
No,
don't
no,
buy into
not,
this.
don't forget Foden and Saka.
Okay, I'll start with Rhys James. I don't buy into this Rhys
It's
James.
outrageous. What
I
do you
think
mean?
that you
What
two-
doesn't there to buy in? Watch him play.
I think he like
It's a bulldozer.
doesn't influence the game that much
Oh,
compared to these
shut
players.
up. Just stop.
Mason Mount influences the game 3 times as much as Rhys James. I don't
know.
like. It's difficult because I think all these players are really good. Like Rhys James over Trent, ridiculous.
What's going on?
Henry,
No.
I'm going to disagree. I think he does influence the game.
Not as much as Mount.
For Chelsea, he does.
I
But
can
that's
admit-
because
I
in
can
the
admit-
system that they play, their wing backs
The
are
only one
incredibly
that
important.
I'm happy to admit, which I was very, very 50-50 on, is Rice and Mount. I was very 50-50 on
What
that.
about Trent?
What about Trent?
I think Mount's better than Trent.
I will admit,
Oh, it's just.
Rice is a bit low for me, but I
And also, Trent is
just
is really good is good going forward, obviously, and he's very good forward.
Trent
He
is.
can't defend as well as good as a right back should be able to defend
That's
at
why
the
I got
top
Rhys James
level.
in my team.
He shouldn't be able to defend.
Okay,
He
that's-
can't defend as good as a right back.
I
should
think
be
it's
able
a
to
myth.
It's a myth.
Let me just
I think it's a myth. You
And
don't.
also, I'm being dead
It's
honest.
just
because
if
of
he
where
was
he
doing what
played.
he was doing
Henry, just
in centre mid, I'd have him high on the list.
Henry.
It's because he can't defend.
Henry.
Where
It's a myth.
It's such a
What
myth.
what people do, you get it in your head because you see it on Twitter. You get it in your head. You don't watch him play, and then you're like, oh, you know what? No. He's just terrible defensively. If you actually watch
I'm
him
with
play,
Louis here.
he's a very.
He's a good
I say he's a good
defender.
defender. He's very
He
good.
is a
defender.
good defender.
1-on-1.
He's not
like,
up there. He's not as good as
one-on-one
Rhys James at
defensively,
all.
one.
He's good.
No,
He's
no,
as
1-on-1
good
is
as
good.
Rhys
1-on-1
James.
James.
Saw him and you won.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
No, he's weak. He's weak
defense.
one-on-one defense.
I don't.
Henry, listen, Henry.
I don't
You're
like
saying-
bringing up stats.
You're saying
I
he's
will bring
not.
some up now.
You're saying he's not good.
Centre back stats mean nothing.
Centre back. Well, I'm talking about right back.
Right back stats. I don't say
They
centre back
don't.
stats. Gabriel.
Okay, so-
Van Dijk.
So we're going to talk about
I'm
like.
being serious.
I know,
His
that's
points
all I
interceptions for centre backs makes no difference. The only thing that makes a slight difference
Like-
is goals and assists.
No, like being like dribble percentage of times dribble past. That makes a difference. That shows one on
No,
one
all
defending.
stats are made up.
Oh yeah, all stats are made up. Yeah,
No, but that's the reason, because I think Fount, Moden and Saka, let me just clear this
Foul.
out. Moden, Mount and Saka
I was
are
wondering
all
who that
so-
was.
So close.
Um,
I did put Foden,
no,
but
Henry, you're saying Trent can't defend
statistically.
simply because he attacks so much,
Yeah.
and that's how Liverpool play with their press fullbacks. So he's not doing as much defending. It's just a myth he can't defend. He can defend.
But once he's pushed back into defensive positions,
Yes,
He's
and
good.
he's great one-on-one. Okay, he's
yeah.
not good one-on-one. Do you know what dribblers
finished with this
tackle
podcast.
percentage? Do you know what Rhys James is? 33%. Do you know what Trent is? 39%. They're both pretty dribblers tackled percentage. So the number of dribblers that you tackle. It's a bullshit stat, but it makes sense.
That have been
The
tackled.
people who
Then
try
you
and take him
tackle.
on, he tackles a high percentage than Rhys James.
So I mean that's a stat, and stats don't mean
that's the
everything.
dumbest stat I've ever
Why
heard
is that
in my
dumb?
Why
life.
is
Why
that?
is-
Because
well,
shows one-on-one defending.
That's
so
literally the
they're
whole
both
point.
between
No,
30
but
and 40%.
stats are.
They're still pretty poor, yeah.
You can't judge those.
Oh, that is so
I'm
stupid.
not saying.
Wait.
I'm not
Explain
saying
why-
that's the
That's so
reason why
stupid
he's
because,
why
like,
Explain
he's.
why it's stupid.
It's stupid because, like, it depends on the context of the game. If you're, like, say you're on the
Yeah, I
halfway
agree.
line and you're
Obviously.
making a tackle,
Obviously.
Okay.
and you've got no one covering it, and you go for a big tackle, and then they go past you in the other 60% of the time, and they go score. Compared to if you've got a centre back, like loads of covering players,
Fine.
and you go for
Yeah.
a tackle and they go past you.
I agree.
That's
Doesn't
in the
make a
system.
flipping
I do agree. I
difference.
don't like
So you
these
can't
stats.
just- yeah,
I
so
don't
why
like
bring
these
it up
stats
then?
because
It's in a
because
general
your
sense,
argument
it shows.
is your argument
That's not
is
the stats, but his stats is on.
Yeah,
yes. Your argument is that
You're
Rhys
basing your
James
argument on stats you don't know.
Henry. Your argument is that Rhys James is far better defensively one-on-one than Trent. So why is Trent beating him in this one stat? It doesn't matter. The stat doesn't
Stats
really
are
matter. But he should be beating him in it if he's so much better defensively.
Those triple
You're
percentage
not.
stats are
You're not
just
actually
off no
watching
basis.
him
I think
play
it's good that you bring up stats. 'cause
and
it shows
seeing
you
he's a
know,
quality
speaking
player.
Exactly.
Right.
Stats are of no
I
bust.
think-
You have no idea how they're done or
Boys,
what they're done
I think we should wrap it up because we've spoken enough about Trent and Rhys
No,
James
Should we just do
and
a little?
everything.
I'm just looking for any other big
Um,
takes.
I
Maybe.
assume we'll try and get each of
they're
everyone's
cut
top
out
10 on the screens here.
Will you?
You'll be able to see.
The biceps.
Thank you, Theo. I think
Yeah,
you'll be able to
so-
see that I have the only good top 10. Actually, Theo's is alright. I can respect Theo's. Sack a bit high, but fine. Henry and Louis, I will not get over. And I think they should be removed from this
Okay,
podcast.
well you'll make the decision
No,
yourself.
you'll make the decision
And,
yourself.
I
Write
think
in the
we're gonna
comments
wrap it
who's
up
the
now.
best.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.